Hey friends, Brad Johnson here from Song Production Pros, and today we are jumping into the analog versus digital debate. Now, before we get into, kind of want to back up a little bit and just kind of paint a little bit of a picture for you. I used to work within a recording studio that used Neve desk, had lots of outboard gear, and everything that we did was basically analog when it came to recording. Now, when it came to the editing, mixing, mastering, most things were done in the box, but we infused that analog flavor into the source material. Now, as I have moved into my own home studio where things have reduced a lot in size because I have 2 kids and a family, and now I am in a corner in the kitchen, I rely very heavily on digital tools. I do most of my work in the box. I do record vocals and guitars in the home, but I just kind of, just get as clean of recording as possible and then try to make it work and get that analog flavor in the box. I've been a huge fan of the Apollo Twin. I have the Apollo Twin X because it gives me kind of the best of both worlds. I have access to basically an entire analog studio within the box with their Unison enabled preamps as well as their plugins. However, that analog thought in my brain has never really left. It's kind of like, well, maybe just looking for that extra 5-10%, does analog really make a difference? So Sweetwater was kind enough to send me the new Neve 88M USB audio interface to kind of test the two side by side. This is a perfect interface for this analog versus digital debate because the 88M has the same exact preamp topology with the Mariner transformers as their Neve 88R console. And the Apollo Twin has the Unison preamps, and they've modeled the 88RS console. So I can literally look at the digital and the analog and compare them side to side. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna compare them with vocals. I'm also gonna compare the DI in with electric guitar, going straight into the DI on both the Neve 88M as well as the Apollo Twin. But I'm also going to then route it through a Strymon Iridium and then have that go into the Neve 88M as well as the Apollo Twin and compare that side by side, because what I love to do is go through these amp and cab simulator pedals. I love my Strymon Iridium. I think it does a fantastic job emulating that guitar tone. So I'm also gonna do a really interesting experiment. What's really cool about the Neve 88M is that it has a dedicated send and return post preamp pre-conversion, so you can actually add in hardware gear to the 88M. But I'm not gonna add hardware gear. What I'm going to do is actually run the 88M into the Apollo and then use the Apollo for the conversion, because I wanna get that analog vibe from the preamp, but then run it through the plugins through console on the Apollo Twin X. Like plugins I like to use a lot, especially for guitar and for vocals, is their C-Suite plugin. So the Sweet Vox, C-Suite Axe, because that helps reduce all the room noise that I get from just not having a really well-treated room and get a much higher quality recording. So I wanted to be able to do that with the 88M and then be able to run that into those plugins. So we're gonna do those experiments. We're gonna jump into it. Let's go. All right, so I'm here in a session. I recorded a couple of passes using the Neve 88M. Then I did the Apollo Twin, just the stock pre, the Apollo 88RS Unison pre. I have this in context of an arrangement, and we'll also listen to it solo so that way you can get both vibes. Let's just jump right into it. We'll start with the Neve 88M in context of the arrangement.
As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you'll wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in. You wonder if anything will ever feel right again. As winter's chill bites the skin and the weight of the world has settled in, you wonder if anything will ever feel right again.
All right, so it's very, very subtle. What you really need to listen to is the depth, the height, and then also where the frequency range is being accentuated. To me, it sounds like the Neve 88M is just a little more open. The throaty sound of my voice seems to be a little bit more back in the mix, so creating a little more depth, while the Apollo Twin and the Apollo 8RS seem to be a little bit more choked sounding, but it's just really, really subtle. I'm splitting hairs here, and it could just be the placebo effect. So I wanna know what you heard. Tell me in the comments below. I would like to know. So let's go back, let's do this again. Really take in what you're hearing and the nuances and the differences between the preamps. I mean, both sound great. You can't go wrong with either one. It's just really gonna be a matter of preference of what you're looking for in an audio interface and in your preamps. So let's jump into the electric guitar. So again, here I have an electric guitar that I recorded DI into both the Neve 88M's DI and the Apollo Twin X's DI. Then I ran it through a Strymon Iridium, and then that went into the DI inputs of both the Neve and the Apollo Twin X. So we're gonna listen to it again in context of an arrangement and as well as solo. In this particular example, it's gonna be a lot more subtle. I'm gonna show you another comparison I did when I ran it through a Wampler Moxie, which is like a tube screamer emulation. And there was a huge difference between the Apollo and the Neve 88M, and I'll show you that, but in this, you're gonna have to really listen and pick up on the differences. Let's just jump into it. Yeah, not a huge difference, negligible. I would say you really aren't gonna get much better performance out of the Neve 88M or the Apollo Twin X. It really just comes down to what is it you were looking for. With the 88M, you could push the input and drive that transformer a little bit more because that transformer is in the path of the DI as well to get a little more saturation. Might not be what you're really looking for in a DI tone. With the Apollo Twin, you're just going to get a lot of clean gain, and the only time you're going to get any kind of saturation or distortion is when you start clipping those converters, which is not going to sound good. But as I said, I did other types of experiments where I did run it through my pedal board with a Wampler Moxie tube screamer style pedal, and there was a huge difference. This is the article that I wrote. If you want to check it out, definitely go check it out. This is a very in-depth review of the 88M, and I have some audio examples here. Let's take a listen to the Neve 88M into the Iridium with the Wampler Moxie in the path. All right, now compare that to the Apollo with the 88RS into the Iridium with the Wampler Moxie in the path. the difference there is so big. It's like the Apollo version almost has like a blanket over it, while the Neve 88M is very crisp, clean, and forward, which is crazy. I matched the gain. The Iridium was the same exact settings. I didn't change anything. Nothing on my guitar, nothing on my pedal board, and there's a huge difference there. So in that case, I like the Neve 88M's DI input better. But again, when it came to the example here, I didn't really hear much of a difference. So really, the choice between the two, the Neve 88M, Apollo Twin X, there's not a clear winner. It really just depends on what it is you're looking for. If you're looking for just that all analog sound, you just want 2 killer preamps, you want to maybe expand into some, external hardware because it has those sends and returns, then the 88M is a great choice. It's also bus powered, so you won't have to deal with extra cabling, while the Apollo Twin X is just a studio staple these days. You can expand it into the other Apollos to really make a very full-fledged recording system. It also has the flexibility of changing your unison preamps to get different tonal colors depending on what you're recording and what it is you want to accomplish. It also comes with the plugins and being able to track those plugins with low latency. You're gonna get a lot more flexibility with the Apollo Twin X. However, another thing I like to mention is the converters. I think that the Apollo has not as good of conversion quality as the Neve 88M. The Neve 88M sounds a little more open to me, a little more clear, and yeah, it just seems a little more three-dimensional. It's very, very subtle. However, from my ear, that is what I hear. I can't demo that, but that's just my own personal opinion. All right, so that was a fun comparison. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts. If you'd like me to do more comparison videos like this, what you may want to see shot out next. If you want to get a deep dive into the Neve 88M and all its features and breakdown, I did write a comprehensive article you can go check out on my website below. You can also check out a more comprehensive Neve versus Apollo Twin X article that I wrote that you can all check out below. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for more notifications for videos like this. I appreciate your time. I will leave some links below to Sweetwater, where you can check out both the Neve 88M and the Apollo Twin X. If you do purchase through those links, I do earn a small commission, but it is at no additional charge to you, and it helps keep me going to make more videos and write more content. I appreciate your time, and remember, as always, all it takes is for one song to change the world. So get at it. See you soon. Bye.